Okay, so this is going to be my army today. It's a Fall of France 1940 army. We have a first lieutenant and an infantryman. We have two regular squads here. One's got rifles and one's got an LMG, and they are being transported in the two brain gun carriers. We have the free observer, and then we have three regular infantry units of 9 men, with an NCO, light machine gun, and 7 with rifles. I've taken rapid fire as my special characteristic. We have a boys anti-tank rifle somewhere in there, behind the tank. A medium mortar with spotter, a quick-fire 2-pounder, a Morris CS9 armoured car, which has got an anti-tank rifle and a coaxial LMG. And then I've gone for an A9 Mark 1 cruiser tank, but I've actually gone for the CS version, so it's going to be different to the model. Obviously it's just the barrel. Mainly because I know Ken's fielding one with the normal anti-tank.
No, I've gone for the CS gun.
You've gone for CS as well?
CS
okay.
as well.
So yeah, so we've both gone for CS, that's interesting. So we've got a 3.7 inch light howitzer, and it has all the machine guns bristling from it. And that's my army, and they're all regular.
So I don't know what happened between the previous picture and the following videos. They're a little bit out of focus for some strange reason, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Anyway, from left to right, we've got the second lieutenant and his wife, regular. We've got the free but 55 points British Naval Observer, and I've got a veteran sniper team. Next is the inexperienced Green Home Guard unit. Then we've got the naval section, regulars with rifles and an LMG. Behind them, another rifle section with just rifles and LMG. Then we've got 6 commandos with submachine guns, veteran, and 6 riflemen, auxiliary native irregulars with rifle forward deploying. We've then got the medium mortar with spotter, and we've got the 25-pounder and spotter, and at the front we've got the Rolls-Royce armoured car, which has got an MMG, and we've got the truck, and we've got the A9 tank, which is taking it this version, which is the light howitzer, and it has a turret-mounted machine gun and 2 turret-mounted machine guns. So that's my British Home Defence Force for 1,000 points. A bit more anti-tank in this one, just a little, with the 25-pounder, which does light howitzer and light anti-tank gun. So table was set up by John, and the random dice rolling was brought us up the envelopment, and I won to decide to be attacker or defender, as I've already said, and I went for the attacker. There is one entrance onto the road on this bottom side of the board, and on the side that John was playing there is one road off, and then you've got the road that goes horizontally across the whole table. Other than that, there's quite a lot of hedges which were stopping vehicles getting across. So, envelopment, and I rolled to be the attacker. John is the defender, and John chose the side to set up, and he set up his troops on the far board, and there is a preliminary bombardment for the attacker to hit the defender's units, and I've just rolled to see what we get, and let's have a quick run through to see what happened to John's army. So we got 2 pins on the anti-tank rifle, 1 on the Morris armoured car, 2 on the Bren carrier and its crew, and another 2 on the Bren carrier and its crew, and then the observer here. Which one observer is that one that's still alive?
That's the mortar observer. That's
the mortar observer, he's alive, but the forward free observer is dead. He got hit with a 6 on his head.
He's goner.
Is dead. The unit in the middle took 2 pins. I had a really lucky roll and took out John's A9 with a direct hit on its top, which was a bit sad for John. 1 man from this one?
1 man from that squad.
1 man from that squad.
2 pins on the officer behind.
Right, they did get 3 pins, that squad.
Yep.
For the direct hit. 1 pin on the officer behind, and I got another direct hit on the 2-pounder quick firer and took it out. And we took 1 man and 3 pins on this unit here, and 2 pins on the mortar. And that was partly due to me rolling lots of 6s, but it's also that the British Army National Rule allows you to roll 2 dice for the preparatory bombardment and choose the highest. So that does it. That's really sort of scuppered John a little bit in this game.
I surrender.
However, when we play our tournaments at Lost Ark, we always change the preliminary bombardments to a direct hit gives 3 pins. Or was it 4 pins last time?
3 pins.
3 pins.
As it would be.
Yeah. So we tend to do that because we find sometimes that if you're really unlucky, the preparatory bombardment can really give you a bad day. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem for John, as we see as we go on. For me, I've set up my forward deploying. I've set up my auxiliaries over here. I've got my naval observer over here and the sniper team on this side. And over here I've set up my mortar man and the 25-pounder over here. So everything else of mine is off table. Did you put everything on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes in preparatory bombardment scenarios, best not to put everything on the table in the first turn.
Yeah,
but there we go. Yeah. We haven't played for a while, and we haven't played bombardment for a while. So learning points as they go along. So end of turn 1, and John has still continued to play despite the heavy losses from the preliminary bombardment. So let's have a look. What have we done over here so far? I think probably one of the first dice out was my my unit here, wasn't it? So I ran them over here. Yeah. They have if you remember, they have the rule that they can ignore terrain on the first turn. So they've run off over the hedges, and they've come up behind here. John rallied his armoured car because I failed to get a hit with my sniper on it, and it's open topped. The sniper would have put in another pin, but I didn't get it. So what that meant was that John could take a shot, needing a 5, and he put a pin onto my A9. He didn't cause it any trouble, apart from the pin, but that was still a pin, and a pin's a pin. And we know in this game you can roll foobarrs, which John did over here. And he was going to rally, and he rolled a foobar, and then he rolled a 1, which meant that it took a shot at his own armoured car. But luckily for John, he didn't get a hit. He needed a 5, and he rolled a 4. So his ability to not roll good dice helped him there. So it saved him a little bit of trouble on the side of his. That would have been -2, and you would have been 6 armour on the side, wouldn't you? Oh, not good.
It never happened.
Never happened. So John's been busy rallying some troops over on this side, getting the pins off. But I've been very nasty to him, and I've put down the artillery strike from the naval officer at that point there. Which, if you remember, it's going to be D9 plus 6. So I may get a few units under there. So moving around, obviously there's the wreckage of the tank. John's removed the pins from this section and from that section and from his mortar. His mortar did fire a long shot, but it was out of range of my sniper team. For me, I've run up the commandos towards this gap in the fences, brought on the mortar team behind the tree because their spotter is far over on that side. 25-pounder spotter is over here, and I've brought that on this side. Brought on the officer and his wife to run up the flank, and I've brought on the Dad's Army to do likewise, keep them out of trouble, causing a bit of a road jam with the A9. So I've got to move that next turn and then get the truck moving with the naval ratings and move this unit on here. One bit of luck for John is that I have now blocked the only road off the table with the preliminary bombardment. But that was turn one, and now we've got to get a dice and roll to see whether my artillery strike comes in. On a 1 it does, on a 2 to 4, on a 2 to...
No, 1 it doesn't.
1 it doesn't, it goes away.
2 to 3
it can be moved.
Delayed. You can move, and then 4, 5, 6
4, 5 or 6 it hits. 6 it hits. And we'll see how far the diameter is. So
inches.
It's 11 inches.
The armoured car's out.
Armoured car's out.
That's in, that's in, that's in. And that's it.
So 1 squad, 2 cars, and the guy there. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just cut that there to see what the result is. The artillery strike was awful. I rolled a 6 to hit the Bren carrier. For the moment, the observer is free, but he's probably been hit by the edge of a template.
Yeah, he would have been.
Yep.
About 4 inch.
4 inch, yeah. Oh, he might not. He might.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
But also, you've just missed that.
Yeah.
He has definitely been hit, so we need to roll for him now.
Right. Okie doke. Which ones?
That needs to roll.
Okay. Do you want to roll, John? See, you got a dice.
That's a hit.
That's a hit. He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah. So yeah, because there's templates, 4 inch templates, so it's dead. So I hit the Bren carriers, and they're -2 because they're open topped, and it hits them on the top of the vehicle. And then for pins, it's D6 plus 2. So I rolled a 5 for the first unit of infantry, so that takes them to 7 pins, and 7 pins on the other one because I rolled another 5 on that unit. The unit over there took 1 pin and lost 3 men. that was unbelievably brutal.
Well, it's your penetration of 6 that doesn't help.
Oh yes, and the artillery gun does a penetration of +6. Nightmare. Yeah, there we go. I perhaps regret taking it now, but there we go. That's what it is, and that's how it works. Enter turn 2, and after that naval barrage, which really was severe for John, we've advanced up the auxiliaries and took a shot at the anti-tank rifle team, killed 1, and then John failed his leadership test as they had 3 pins on them. The little armoured car did get a shot in, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did take a shot at my A9. Oh no, he took a shot at the Rolls Royce. Pinned it, and I passed the leadership test to move it, and then put another pin on the armoured car. And my sniper team failed to hit it for the 2nd time. I've advanced up the A9 now, and took a shot at the unit that were in front of the house, and John's now run them round the back to keep them safe. I fired my mortar at the unit that were in the trees, well, on the edge of the trees, and didn't get a hit, but we're ranging in on them, and John's has run them from the woods, or advanced them out of the woods to get out the way of that as well. Redeploying. John is redeploying. He's redeploying his... Well, was trying to redeploy his mortar team, but they failed their leadership test.
I'm not quite sure where they redeployed.
No. Over here, sadly, the units that were in the Bren carriers, they had to go down, and with their 7 pins. Yeah, and other than that, because I've got a fairly free range, we're advancing everybody up as best we can. I've probably just blocked the 25-pounder's view on the armoured car again, but we'll take that one. The Navy are running up the road in the truck. Commandos are advanced up to the fence, and the regular army have advanced up to this fence as well. So end of turn 2. A bit bleak for John and his British Defence Force. Well, turn 3, and because I've got no threat really on me, I've advanced up the A9, and I've taken out 1 infantry section from the Bren carrier. I did 4 kills on it, and they failed their leadership test. And then I've put John put the guys down over the backside, so they went down. They're going to not do anything next turn. I've got the tank to get close to them to take them out. And this unit here, they're going to get peppered a bit. They got another pin, so they would have to more or less rally to do something. Over here, the armoured cars come up, and we've put another shot onto the Morris, so that's got 4. That's not going to go anywhere. This unit is very close to going off the board. This one can move up into the scoring position. We've got this unit's moving up, the officers moving up, the truck with the naval ratings moving up, so they're going to be able to move on the road and get well into the farm. So by turn 4, I'm going to have mostly most of my units in scoring positions, and John is also how many units have you lost? 5? 6 units. John's 6 units down, so there's no coming back. So we're going to call the game there, which is really unusual for a bolt action game, for it to end so quick. But the preliminary bombardment was pretty devastating. Took out all John's threats that he could do on my troops that were advancing, and then the naval bombardment coming in was even worse. And that probably was about it, wasn't it? Yeah. So, yes, a win for the home defence against the BEF.
Well, what can I say? Very rare for a game to end the way that did, or even to go on as the way that did. After the initial preparatory bombardment, knocking out the A9, the light anti-tank gun, and his forward observer, into turn 2, and rolling so well to take out both the Bren carriers, and then putting 7 pins on both infantry units. Very, very severe. Doesn't normally happen that way, but we decided to call it at the end of that because it was only going to go one way. I'd got my troops on that left-hand flank pretty far across the table already. So that was the end of that one. It'd be interesting to see if I get envelopment and can get the advantage next time when we're playing in the GT. But anyway, things to learn. Yeah, the British bombardment, preparatory bombardment, rolling 2 dice, taking the highest. That is pretty harsh. And then with the naval ones coming in, it did actually work this time, as opposed to when I played Colin and it killed my own observer. So yeah, it can be very useful. But yeah, the 1,000 points army seems reasonable, adding the other bits and pieces in. So yeah, we'll get this video out hopefully. Doing this from the hotel room just before the day before the tournament. It's Saturday tomorrow. So let's see if we can get this uploaded through their internet. Anyway, look out for some updates on the gaming. I'll try and put them up. Maybe a couple of live chats. We'll see how we can go. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and speak to you soon. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below. Always welcome. And hit the notification button if you want to find out when the next video's out. Subscribe if you haven't. And until the next time, thanks very much for watching, and take care.